You're listening to People Think About It. Delve into the world of relationships, business, and politics with hosts Lamar Clark, Dorshell Clark, and Dominique Hagler on People Think About It, where thought-provoking discussions abound.
Hey, welcome to People Think About It. We're back, and we have our special two guests in this studio tonight, and we're going to let them introduce themselves first. We're going to start off with Miss Sadie.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sadie. I'm an author, speaker, and the podcast host of Soul Food with Sadie, and I'm just happy to be here tonight.
Okay. And then we got our guest, the Terminator, Brother Mustafa.
Say good afternoon, everybody. I am a salesman and entrepreneur and black economist and activist.
Okay. So now what we're going to do, we're going to get into our touching on our subject we kind of touched on last week. We was talking about relationships here in Atlanta. We were talking about what makes a person certified to be a relationship specialist. We were talking about things like that. So we're touching back on this because we wanted some other insight. Miss Sadie, she's been on the show before, and she is a mindset coach. So she's a mindset coach, and as our co-host, Miss Dominique, she's a life coach. So you take all these coaches, and we talk about, like I say, Dorshell saw some people online that said they were relationship specialists. So our thing was, well, who makes you a relationship specialist? I mean, who makes you a specialist at anything, really, if you haven't gone into any, educational institution as far as a college and getting a degree and things like that? Do we label ourselves of this? Because I feel like relationships, when it comes to relationship, what works for you may not work for me. Mm-hmm. I feel like when it comes to relationship, we was just now kind of talk about the imbalance, because when you talk about relationship, we as men are going to see women in a certain light, and women are going to see men in a certain light, but then you got those men that think women or know that women are the precious thing that's ever put on this earth, and then you got some women that think that the men are the most precious thing that been put on this. So you have that imbalance. So we just trying to have a little round table discussion of how do you get to this point of being a relationship specialist and talking about relationships. How do you make them stronger? How do you make them work? So let's get into that. Let's start off with Miss Sadie, since she's a mindset coach.
So I don't know how you get into being a relationship specialist, because that ain't my thing. However, I think that relationships take a lot of work and selflessness and just a lot of work. I actually was listening to this book, and T.D. Jakes was talking about women like putting their careers on hold and all that stuff. And I just stopped and I was like, why do women wait around? Why are we the ones that, get proposed to and get married like the man is the prize, when we really the prize? And that could be biased because I am a woman, but I was like, some women put their jobs, careers on hold, take care of the home, take care of the finances, take care of the children. I was like, why? And
this is how we get into the thing about the relationship thing, because as a woman, you feel as though being put in that predicament that, I'm the prize, and then I was in a relationship, now I'm the one that got the kids, and I'm taking care of the kids, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing that, and where's this man, So then when you get into the relationship specialist part, how do you add a balance to that? Because I don't think it's about who is the prize. I think it's about becoming bone of bone, flesh of flesh, and becoming one. That's what I think, is because that's what the word says too. The word says, become bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, and let's become one. So if you operate in that atmosphere of becoming one, then you're the prize just like I'm the prize. We unwrap each other.
Right. I'm here for that one.
Yeah.
So, but let's have some insight from you, Brother Mustafa.
Well, I mean, I look at it, these so-called specialists are not consultants. These are not licensed, certified, because this issue goes back time immemorial, like you just quoted the Bible. And one thing is, these people are playing into gender roles and taking advantage of the division in relationships. They're not talking about anything about positive reinforcement of building, because from a man and a woman, was just stick to gender, right? We just use two basic components. From a relationship becomes a family. From a family becomes a community. The community establishes a nation. But if that is a valid premise, then you think that somebody else is working against that, diametrically opposed to that. It's money. It's all about money. You're a specialist. What are you talking about? What do you specialize in?
Because money is what they say divides so many relationships.
In America. I mean, if we go outside, the people in those communities, in those nations, why would they come here? Money. They're not.
And they become here, but they get Americanized once they come here.
And that means that they fall apart. To become Americanized means that you lose your values, you lose your sense of purpose, and the worst thing you can lose is
your family.
Yeah, without your family, it's no freedom, it's no integrity. Your family established, and then you say like a gangster said, if you lose your money, if you lose money, you've lost something. Okay, if you lose your health, you've lost something important. But if you lose your character, you've really gone. That's where your family comes with, the values, your integrity. And if you see a model, like I was saying before when I mentioned my parents, they were together for 51 and a half years. And there's a lot that I discovered about my parents that I didn't know. They were together for so long because of the magic S word, survival. Because he was a product of neglect and she was a product of abandonment. And whatever happened between them, even outside entities, is rule number one. You don't lie. Even a cell membrane, you cannot permeate or cross that path because there's a bond. It is a cohesion. And even my family just said, we never knew what your mother and father used to talk about. That's their bedroom talk. Even we don't know. I ain't in that bedroom.
And then we talked earlier, like some of us have seen that culture of mother and father raising a family. And a lot of us, and especially in today's society, they only see one side of things. So when you talk about becoming a specialist about relationships, to me it's about how to reestablish a bond even with people, because if I see you walking down the street and I think that you're a nice, attractive woman, right? My whole thought process becomes visual before it becomes intellectual, right? And then once it comes intellectual, well, I'm only operating from the premise of what I know, if I've never been in a successful relationship or if I've never been in a successful marriage, I don't know what that really looks like,
right?
And do you really have, because the people we were talking about, they were talking about how they met each other and they had all these fireworks and this was going on. Then 3 years later, they barely liked each other. So what happened to the fireworks within that process?
That visual, like you said.
The fireworks got put out, but it didn't even get ignited because number two is today's so-called modern society. They bring a lot of baggage into the relationship too. How can you spark something when you got to do it? And then on top of that, one thing is, along with my mother and father, it takes a village to raise a family. Some people opting out not having children; they rather get a dog. Some people are all about their big house and their status. And one thing is, my father wanted to have sons in particular. He wanted to continue his line. But one special thing that makes me an anomaly is that I have my grandparents, my great-grandparents, my aunts and uncles. We had a whole family unit. So that affects the child even down to their diet, their activities. So I don't want to hear anybody talking about 50-50 bills and credit, whatever. The family would establish that because it's on the geopolitical level, right? They're actually trying to destroy the family unit, and we are the biggest target because we are the ones were the progenitor of the family. You say black, you have to say family. They are interchangeable. Now they don't exist anymore.
Well,
it's gone.
So how do we get here, and how do we see going into some other people unit is presenting themselves as certified specialists on relationships. How did we get there, Miss Dominique?
I really feel like in today's society, everybody is looking for something, right? Like something is hope. Like I need to know that somebody's going to hear me and understand me. And so I feel like we have these quote unquote specialists, counselors or whatever, just so that people can hold on to hope. Like, oh, I can go talk to such and such and such. And, you know, they're going to tell me this is what I need to do, or I'm doing this right, or, you know, I'm doing this wrong, or he's doing this right, or doing this wrong, or vice versa. You know, I feel like it's just one of those things where, like when people go and get a psychic, right?
Right.
You have your discernment. You don't need a psychic to tell you got a problem. You know what I mean? You don't need that. You can use your discernment. You ask God or whoever you pray to can give me discernment in any situation that I come across. Just like these specialists, you don't need them. You step out and look at self, right? Both of y'all look at yourselves, then y'all look at each other because now y'all need to mirror each other. Y'all are your own counselors. You don't need to go pay nobody for that.
And you know what? You touched on something, and you touched on something I truly believe, that a lot of times people don't look inward.
Right.
Because it's so easy to point a finger and blame. But you know, it's like that old cliche, if you point one finger at me, that means it's four pointing back at,
Right.
if I'm pointing one at you, it's four pointing back at me. And I think that when you talk about relationships, if people will look at the inner, and then, you know, it's just like almost like you say, you know what? A relationship or a marriage is almost like a heavyweight fight. You standing right in front of each other. When you get married, you standing right in front of, that's your opponent. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing too. You know, you got to understand what you're looking for, right? Are you in it for the relationship? Or are you in it for companionship? Do you want somebody to come cuddle you all night because you want to feel cuddly and cute and stuff? Or do you want a relationship that's actually going to pull you apart? Right, and dig deep. Your relationship is never supposed to be surface. You are supposed to grow in that. And if you don't, what are you getting out of that? Right, you now have a companion. Hey, you want to go out to eat? You want to go to the movies? That's not the same thing as a relationship, because a companionship does not. Your dog can't tell you, you know, hey, you know, that's not right what you're doing. Your dog can't. That's a companion.
Exactly.
You know, your relationship is supposed to help you grow.
Yeah.
So
very good.
That's just how I feel. I ain't certified or nothing, but I'm just saying.
But I think that people have to understand that once you look inward, I think that's where all the process begins of anything. Once you look inward, because you know you begin to know who you are. Because if I know who I am, and I'm in a relationship with you, I can begin to know who you are. You know what I mean? But if I can't identify who I am and how I'm going to identify who you are, because like you just said, we all got issues. We all got issues. So if you know, it's just like some people go into relationships and somebody could have an issue with porn, right? And you may know that or find that out somewhere in the relationship, right? But I know who I am. You know what? I know that, you know what? I'm a great lover. I'm a great person. I give you this. But that's your weakness. And you came into it, and you might have hid that from me. So in this relationship that you're talking about, not companionship, in this relationship, because I'm inward, I know who I am. How do I help you get out of that predicament? That's where I see it going. How do I help you get out of that predicament? Because I can either become angry and not entertain it, and now I'm in a companionship, not a relationship.
Right, because you don't care to see each other grow.
Right. Because I think we all human. We all got shortcomings. We all got shortcomings. We all got different beliefs. It's like you said, we come from a cultural type thing. So if you grew up with seeing your grandparents together for 50, 60 years, your mama and daddy together for 50, 60 years, and now here you are in it, at least you got some idea of what it should look like. Not to say it was right, but what it should look like. But, you know, we got all this singleness in the world today, and selfishness, and glorifying who I am. You know what I mean? It's just like in the beginning, like you were saying, you look at I'm the prize. You know what I mean? When I think that when you put yourself as the prize, sometimes you can put yourself up on a pedestal and put yourself higher than what you're supposed to be when you become the prize. But I think that if we're working together to build a relationship, we both the prize.
Well, that's true. I mean, I don't see nothing wrong with feeling like you the prize. That's you. That's where your confidence and do. That's, you should feel like that. You know, and it is what it is. Now, when you are, and I'm not saying anybody got to lower their standards, but I do think some of these standards are unrealistic, and that's on both sides. I'm not going to say it's one or the other. They're very unrealistic. That's when we start talking about the prize, where you feel like, my don't stink, you know. I should have this and this and this, and hey, you're entitled to whatever. Manifest your whole life if you want to. That is what you're supposed to do. But when you are looking on a surface level, right? Because I feel like now in today's time, everybody is so surface level, right? Oh, you look good. Let's go on a date. Oh, yeah. I want to take pictures with you. If we get together, that's how we gonna look. It's very surface. Right? Nobody's really taking the time out to get to know one another, right? We're not writing letters like we used to. It's not. We don't have that, you know. Yeah. Now we're older. Now you have to have a work-life balance. You also have to incorporate your children if you have something. Like, there's a lot of factors within this space, and then you have so much division, of course, in the black community, right? You have the black man, you know, some of them that have not reached their highest potential, right? So then you have the women that are, some of them are up there, right? So yeah, they feel like I got this and I got that, and he need to do this and he need to do that, and then you got the black educated man who also feels like I'm the prize too, like,
right.
You know, but it's weird because I feel like the prizes never meet each other, like they don't.
Right.
I feel like now that's when we start having those problems. Or when you say, "Oh, I'm the prize," it's like nobody's ever going to be good enough for you then. Because what are you really looking for?
And that's the point that I'm making. Go ahead.
So when I say that, because I did a lot of inner work. So I don't have a problem with meeting a man that's a seed and watering that seed and making him the man that he's supposed to be. But sometimes men want you to just come in and build them up. Not all of them, but sometimes I notice in the dating scene, especially, I'm from Nebraska, so especially there, but here in Atlanta, I noticed that men, even successful men, you date them, but they got a lot of inner issues. And I'm like, I did the work. I just don't have the time to, like, water something that's a dud. You know, if I see a seed and I'm like, okay, he got the potential, okay, of course I'm going to put my all into it. But when you got a successful man that has inner issues, that's a problem.
But it goes back to what Mustafa said too. A lot of these issues are mom and daddy issues. I mean, because I feel like this as a man, having daughters. I'm gonna teach my daughter how to be a woman. You know, and I know that may sound strange coming from a man, but guess what? Me teaching you how to become a woman is not you that you get in front of Instagram or Facebook or something. The first thing you turn into the camera is your behind. No, you lessen the quality of who you are as a woman. That's not how we roll around here, right? That I'm setting up and teaching you always to have some kind of dignity about yourself. I'm teaching you that you're a qualified person, that you are a person of quality. You are, to me, as a father, and you're my daughter, you are the prize. You know what I mean? So if I don't teach you that, then a lot of these young girls come up with men issues because they never had a father figure in their life.
Correct.
Some of these men become so mama boys because mama had pet them on their back all life. You're 45 years old and still living with your mama. Come on, man. Let's get real about this.
Yeah.
So a lot of the issues that when we face other people are from sometimes demographics, sometimes culturally, sometimes from immaturity, because some people never mature. You know, you got people out here right now, especially here in Atlanta. You go out to the club, there's people 60, 70 years old still in the club. You know?
One thing is that I've experienced in my recent relationship is that one thing we lost is we put a materialism, we put a dollar value on something, and we want things to be microwave. Like this morning, I realized that when somebody didn't need to inculcate something in me, I recognized that they use a tone, that you have a regalness, a character, a presence about yourself. you don't know anything about my American Express car, what type of car I drive, or whatever. When you bring that to someone at the very beginning, that's the reason why you want to go out on these expensive dates. So a lot of men in my contemporaries have not formed their own character. They gotta have this and they gotta have that. So I got home and I pulled up to the bus stop. And one thing about as a father, that psychic energy can never be displaced. I'm still able to look at my younger child and look through her, and she start to blush and turn away, because I don't want nobody else's dusty ass son thinking that they can impress my child with some trips or Chanel bag, whatever. And I realized, right, excuse my euphemism, is the fact that she had upset me. And they're teenagers, that's what they do. But that ability to inculcate in your female child that not that anybody's going to love you more than me. It's just fact that pure unconditional love. Mm-hmm. And that's what my parents was missing. My father did not have that. He did not have that pat on his back. He had somebody that manipulated it and infused in him a certain self-deprecation, because it always made him feel like he wasn't enough. It was a certain power she had on him. And I've reversed it with my children. Like, no matter what you do, I still want you to be able to come talk to me. I'm going to tell you about yourself. And in a relationship, you don't want to be with somebody that's going to criticize you and tear you down, because they're going to get what you want. When I looked at it, it was just so pure, because I was upset with it. I looked at it like, come here. And then I said, come here. I said, give me a kiss. And I said, whose coat you got on? I got on my sister's coat. And my mother had given her her Ugg boots, right? And I was like, I recognize the issue with my female child, my little black girl, is the value system. I had to break them away from it. You know, these kids spoiled today. They got this, they got that. I had to automatically set that tone and break away that entitlement, because there's going to be somebody in the relationship that's going to manipulate that.
Yep. It's just like when I met my wife, we used to set up and have conversations about, she was telling me this is how her daddy was. Her daddy said, I have no problem with you dating, but you need to find one and just bring one here. You know what I mean? You don't have a multitude. And I'm going to tell you that her father did such a good job on her that whatever he say, she believes. That's to me, that's a true image of a father. You being there as a father for your daughter, because this a little off course, but it's just like they both like the Falcons. And her father can call her and tell her the Falcons going to win the Super Bowl. She going to believe that, but everybody else in the world know that's not going to happen. everybody else in the world know that's not going to happen. But because her daddy told her that, she believed it. She believes
her daddy is Arthur Blank. Whatever he said.
No, her daddy bigger than Arthur Blank. Her daddy owns the Falcons. But I say all that because that's a good quality of a man raising a daughter, and then you got the essence of like you say, Sadie, so many people are lost out here because. And it goes back to what Dominique said, you're looking for something in a person that person might not even really have to give you. You know what I mean? But because of the materialism they can supply for you, or where they can take you, what they can do for you, what they can buy you, you're going to still say, okay, maybe this can work. But just like you say, you don't need no psychic to tell you. Right. You know within yourself, I know this ain't gonna work, and you hear people say it all the time. Let me just ride it until the wave go down, But then you put yourself in a miserable situation.
You do, because you're gonna continue to search for something,
right? And then you start looking at everybody else like that, right? And the realization is like we said in the beginning of this conversation, of you eternally looking at you. You put yourself in that situation.
Right. A lot of these so-called men, they don't have one thing that I've seen was inculcated is impulse control. If a man cannot control his sexual appetites and his other vices, whatever, automatically, and this is verbatim. That's just nothing unique. This is what my father inculcated in me. You're going to have vices. You're going to have mistakes. But at the same time, the limitation of those vices and those flaws. You're going to have flaws, or the word we use today, dysfunction. But if you work on those and diminishing them, it's almost like you know they did, but no one else can see them. I mean, he gave me such a Zen-like presence. And I know this is, decades before, but at the same time, a lot of these men and women today were so focused on who got the snatch waist, who's got the BBL, who has the Chanel bag, who has status, and you like this. At the end of the day, when you roll over and look at this person, when they take off the lashes, when they take off the man unit, men got it too.
Oh yeah.
I already know what a man unit. I'm like, you looking at this person bald, ugly, wrinkly, and you ain't spend no time with them, because a marriage is like a bath. The longer you stay in it, the more you gonna get wrinkled. I guess you gonna be relaxed. You gonna be clean, and you gonna be ready. But people want to jump in and out of relationships. Listen to these so-called specialists. Another word for specialist is a grifter, a con person, or a con man. You know what I mean? Because you sitting like, what do they get out of being a specialist, right? And it's all about the bottom line. And it's so easy to do this in 2024, right?
I just don't see how.
Especially I get a certain,
especially for
and
relationships.
Maybe you can answer this, since you are mindset coach.
I went through ICF though. So.
But no. Listen to the question I'm getting ready to ask. I don't know how someone could be a specialist, a counselor, or anything of that nature if you haven't fixed you. If you haven't fixed you, but you're trying to step in a room and fix other people, I don't get it. I don't get that, because if you're broken, you're listening to my broken problems. How do you? That means both of us are still broke, because you're broken, I'm broken, and you somehow to me are giving me bad information because you broken too.
I think that goes back to the one step ahead rule. Like if a person is one step ahead of you, they can teach you. So I think that's where that goes back to. But again, I'm big on that inner work. Like, I spent 5 years and I'm still doing it. And I notice as I coach people, I'm still getting those aha moments for things that I can work on for myself. So I think it's that one step ahead, and also learning while you go.
Learning while you go.
That's what I think.
Okay, so and then I'm like saying, if both people are broken, if you have a couple that's coming to you that's broken, right? But yet you're going through a broken relationship. How do you fix or get them through their broken relationship if your relationship is
I think when you going through stuff, like, literally, I take a step back. Like, if my house is all chaotic, I can't even think straight. So I take a step back. I do my work, and I even get off social media. I do my work, and then I come back. So I don't think that if your relationship is in shambles,
you can't help somebody. Yeah, you can.
You probably.
Well, I say it from this perspective.
You probably can still help them, but I don't want your baggage right now. I'm a big on my misery don't love company. Right. So if I'm going through stuff, I don't like pouring. Even my friends will tell you, I ask them, can I vent to you? Because we are human. I'm not about to just be like, girl, listen. No, I ask that because I want my friends to ask me, how are you feeling? Can I vent to you?
Instead of just dumping it all on you.
Yeah.
And I'm saying it from this perspective, Dominique, that if you're going through something in your relationship and you're bitter about it, right? And
well, that's it. So you can start right there. If you're bitter about it, you can't help.
You can't help.
Now, your relationship can be tore up, right? Because I've experienced it, right? It can be tore up, but when you take your experiences, sometimes you can just say, hey, I understand because I've been through this, and this. You can still guide someone, and they don't have to take what you're saying.
Right.
But if you bitter about the situation, I don't advise you, like Sadie said, you need to go ahead and step back, take a moment.
But like our discussion here today, you have that person that's called themselves a certified relationship specialist. So you reaching out to them, you don't know whether they broken or what are they going through.
But that's my thing. Just like you don't need a psychic, you need discernment. You don't need nobody out here in the street to tell you what's going on in your relationship. They don't lay next to that person every day.
Yeah,
you don't need that.
I wonder how I don't know how. I can see like a mediator because y'all going through things,
right?
But a specialist, I want to listen to one because I never even knew that existed until Dorshell called me and said that.
Yeah, it's just like I had someone say this to me one time. Even in a relationship, if you take away all the houses, cars, money, and stuff, and look at, then you really see what you have, because nothing else matters but that person at that time. But like you were saying, Mustafa, we equate all these other things into it, because you can get around certain people, and it's just like I say, sometimes we as men, we got our perception of, especially if we've been hurt, broken, or dogged out by a woman, we're gonna probably talk bad about some women. If women been broken, hurt, and bitter about some men, they're gonna probably talk bad about us.
I never did that though.
I have.
But what I'm saying is, you may not do it, but guess what happens? You go to the hair salon to get your hair done. It's a few broken women in there. Men ain't this and men ain't that.
Some women don't do that though.
I'm not saying. But remember, I said that. I'm not saying.
I'm gonna just know who you are. That's it. We gonna just.
But what I'm saying is, I'm not saying all women do it. Like I'm not saying all men do it. Because some people deal with their bitterness well. Some people deal with it. Hey, it is what it is, and they move on.
Learn the lesson and go.
So I'm not so much personalizing it. I'm just saying as a universe of what people do. Because it's just like I cut hair, and some men that been broken. You know what I mean? That as young men, as husbands, as wives, they vent to me, right? And I'm just that ear. Unless you, like you say, you ask for them. And then if you ask for my advice, I just, when it all boils down to, no matter what I tell you, you have to do what's best for you.
Because even if you and Dorshell going through it that night, if somebody come in your barbershop and say, this is what I'm going through, are you going to throw that in there and make it a thing? You're not, right?
No.
Because it don't got nothing to do with them. You can talk from your experience. And I think that's what I'm saying. For me, I don't know how you get certified into like I understand hair, right? We know you got a scalp, you got a special relationship. But when you talking about a relationship, they're not all parallel. Yeah, they're very
like you say, when you do barbering or beauty salon, well, the state requires you to have a certain amount of hours for you to get certified and be licensed.
So how many hours do you need to be in a relationship before you
exactly that was my question.
How many relationships do you have to fail or be successful in order for you to say, hey, yeah, I'm certified now?
Because in all actuality, I feel like this. Someone that has been in a multitude of relationships, good, bad, or in between, they got more right to be a certified relationship specialist than somebody that's been in this one relationship.
No. Because I'm gonna give you a pure example, right? Let's go back to these celebrities, right? Steve Harvey. So Chris Rock's brother said, how makes him a certified? He's a certified relationship specialist.
Oh,
right?
Steve Harvey?
You're like, wait a minute. You talking about this relationship, but what about that last relationship?
But he wrote the book, Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man. And all these women take that advice from him.
Back to money and sensationalism, whatever. Relationships are not trial and error. Let's give the basic premise. Men, right, women get to choose who they have sex with. Men choose who they marry.
Yes. That's what I was saying at the beginning.
On the sexual marketplace, women's time is more important than our time. Because we can go till we're 80 and 90, right? How many billionaires? They name all the billions. I said it to my mother this morning. Every single billionaire that you connect is 80 plus time, right? Men had utilized their time and they work, but with women, their window, right, in order to produce, to have children, which we're throwing another thing in society, we're thrown away. It's gone all the way up to Capitol Hill. Between 16 to 24, a woman is physiologically at her prime, all the way down to the eggs that she produces. I didn't know that until school. The women, the gender, are born with all the eggs that they're ever going to have in order to produce children. And the reason why they have a cycle is the upheaval of the whole body is the fact that they're putting their whole hormonal level to support this egg. So it's the man's job to plant the seed because he's the progenitor of life. He's the spark of life. But it's the woman who nurtures and instills compassion, because they have different emotions than we do. right? So as a unit, the problem is the fact that if you don't look at this potential mate as somebody that is a nurturer, someone that you say, what's the proper term today? What did you say, Dominique? Be my peace. You supposed to be at peace already, but
yes,
be my peace.
Yes.
And then on top of that,
that is not my
so
job.
I am a progenitor of this, but I'm also a cleaver. Let's get rid of all these so-called modern terms. Whatever, men need to turn off the videos.
Yes.
They need to turn off the porn. They need to turn off the TV. They need to get off the internet. Just do what they say with the alcohol fast.
Yeah.
You need to do a
social media fast.
That way you can do some personal reflection because and other part that's harmed us in this community is
I'm gonna say the women too, though.
I'm gonna
say the women too.
Women too, yeah. I would
Because a
say
lot of
the
us
two.
are starting to feel like we're not good enough, so now we all look alike. We got the
And then
same.
some women think they're too good.
As Miss Dorshell calls it, all the women have the kit.
Right,
The body.
Kit.
No.
Yeah, they coming to get the kid.
Yeah, they give them. I mean, it's the kit. And
If
so just like men
kit.
probably need
What's the kit?
men,
The ant
well,
body.
the lashes, the BBLs, the boob job,
The 30-inch hair,
you know what?
lace front.
You was born, and the whole time you've been living, you never seen no woman in your house that got more than 2-inch hair. Now all of a sudden you got hair down to the floor.
That's what the community said. I mean,
That's the hair growth oil. Don't do that now.
your daddy got hair like steel, and your mama got hair like wool. What you think your hair gonna come out? Steel wool. And you like, wait a minute, hold up. And you know what the problem is? The problem is, brothers and sisters, everything is like back to the microwave. Everything I speak. Wait a minute, we were playing the music earlier. Didn't we see this? I hate to be emphatic about it, but didn't we just see this 30, 40 years ago? They'd come in the club or come up in the spot, whatever they have. Blue contacts on, blonde hair, right? And this with the waist net, nothing is new. Everything is
Everything under the sun, everything repeats itself in life.
'Cause
There's nothing under the sun that's new.
Remember, he was on the Keenan Ivory Williams was on the date with, I forgot the young lady's name in the movie. I'm gonna get you, sucker. And they came home for a nightcap.
She pulled off all her legs.
Pulled off had one little strand with a band-aid on her forehead. She pulled off her false leg, pulled out her teeth. Right? That's how I look at most people today.
Yeah,
you
because
fake.
They're so cosmetic.
You Alexander O'Neal, you fake.
You know.
And then answer this. What happened one time? I'm in a nice lounge with my homie. We're in the middle of a Kappa party, and we were complaining about the amenities. Let's just say it like that.
Oh,
so
you said a Kappa party?
it was a Kappa party, right? Yeah. We're not gonna go. So he was like, I didn't think he know anything about that. So it was attractive young ladies. It was a pair of them. They came in.
A pair.
And she went by herself, right? So y'all always come with that one friend that's not as cute as you, right?
That's you know what? Not to cut you off, but you know what? I'm gonna tell you what women told me why they. This one young lady told me why women do that.
Hold on, let's get.
I'm just telling you what she told me.
Let me get to it. So we sitting there, and it was upstairs, and they had a cigar bar, and then my friend he likes live bait, and they didn't have They didn't have a good liquor selection. He was complaining about the bourbon. So I offered the young lady, I said, y'all don't mind, an appetizer, some drink. Wasn't expensive. So the bartender was mumbling up under her breath because she didn't like that these young ladies were taking advantage of somebody's gratitude. Right? I said, it wasn't no big deal to me. So I said, because I couldn't play with a certain credit card. Right? Not to go on to it, but she turned around and she was bringing attention. And the Kappas had explained to this little group, we're all about, we're grown. And he exclaimed, "Hey, man, do you know that they was with us?" And my friend was like, "What that ain't got nothing to do with me? What you talking about? Whatever." And in the midst of he didn't even know what she said. When I was complaining about paying with a certain, card, she said, "Oh, you must have good credit." I felt insulted, because I said, "Wait a minute, hold up." Right? I didn't respond. That's how I am. I said, "No, I just know how to play the game." I was like, you can have it. Right? Here you go. This is exactly what you want. And I see it on both sides. They come in there to play a game. We floss and we cappers.
She must have been young.
No. She wasn't. This is a grown and sexy party. She was the sexiest thing in there. And they hold in on it.
Well, I have female friends.
have
A female friend said that when women come in groups like that, right, they come and they have the not so attractive friends so they can look attractive. So it's just like this is what they tell me, if you got three girls just hanging out.
How old are we, first of all?
I know.
I don't know. All my friends
I'm just telling you what they tell me.
We outside.
How the female creature hunts. This is how she prowls.
But I'm just telling you, this is the kind of stuff.
So you gonna hang with somebody that's got an ugly spirit and everything just because you want to feel like you prettier than them.
But guess what?
That sounds like insecurity to me.
Think about it.
I'm gonna give y'all
think about it. Wait a minute. Hold on. Think about it. Think about this, Sadie. Think about the society we live in today.
Well, they all look alike. How they all going out looking different? They all look alike. They all got the same body.
I went to a pool party
hair.
and this guy came up to me and he said, all them females got the same. They all look alike. He said, I couldn't even tell.
Yeah.
They got
They
the
do.
lace
That's
front,
what I'm
same
saying.
body.
But you know what? Like Dorshell and I met some young guys at this restaurant we was at one time. And for real, I mean, a lot of people don't want to get it. A lot of men really don't like that. But
No,
they
they don't.
participate
They don't,
in it.
right.
A lot of men really don't
They
like
don't.
it. But they participate with it, right?
Don't like what?
So
The
they don't
fake
like all
body.
the weave and the lash and the BBLs and all that. So Dorshell said, you really believe that? So it was about 3 or 4 guys. And she went over there and had a conversation with these guys. And she asked them, you know, how do y'all feel about weaves and BBLs and all? They was like, we really don't like it, but I paid for a few. That's what they said. I paid for a few weaves. I done paid for, but I really don't like it. I'm okay if she don't do it. And a lot of men feel that way. We okay if you don't do it. You know what I mean? I don't have a problem with anybody doing some
Beauty enhancement.
Beauty enhancement. And I mean, you know, I don't have a problem with you that, but when you go to the extreme of
When you
doing
can't
it,
live without it.
Right.
like
addiction.
like you know, I'm dating you and I've never seen you without makeup on. That's buffoonery to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What are you doing it for? Like, are you? Because I feel like, and again, do what you want to do.
Yeah.
If that's what makes you happy, do it. But when you look at the successful people, right? Them women don't got all that stuff going on. They don't got all them. I ain't talking about the rappers with the BBL.
Right, I know
I'm talking about the ones that's up here. They got little wives with little bodies and natural and what's the guy off of Power.
Ghost?
Oh
yes.
yeah, Amari Arwood.
Fine. Oh, everybody want him, right? You see his wife? She don't.
Yeah, little white
She
woman.
don't look like nothing.
Well,
but guess what? He don't need all that.
And they wrote him for that.
But he gets a lot of flack. He gets
He does.
chastisement because here's the upper level. I want to say this, right? There's a male and a female technique, right? When you're in a social setting like that, you're in a club or a lounge or a party. The way to attract other women is to come with other women.
Right.
Maybe one, maybe two. And then when you see a group, do not attract that whole group. You ain't go. Your liquor bill gonna be outrageous, right? One is to approach the least attractive one in the group, and when they show that she's comfortable with you, right? I actually did it with my own daughter. Someone taught me this is the female psyche. Then when they see that you comfortable with them, right? And women had taught me this one out. And then the first technique, you got to be clean. A lot of men's hygiene is in the basement.
Yes,
In the basement.
Well, but again, that's the problem we live
And
in.
all that enhancements is not going to cover it up, right? And then also, I'm serious. A lot of dudes is nasty. I mean, people are nasty. And then on top of that, their whole objective is if you want the prettiest girl in the room, right? Me, I figured it out. Now you got to personalize. You got to do some reflection. I don't want the girl that everybody wants. I want the one that jokers can't get. They sit back and they trying to figure it out, just like.
All right, go ahead, Sadie.
Okay, so I did a thing on my YouTube and it's called Men Stop Searching for Frosting, because a lot of men want the prettiest woman, but they want the qualities of a woman they consider ugly.
Right.
Make
That
it make
part.
sense. You
That's
want a
true.
loyal
Because
So
woman.
you gotta get you a medium joint.
No.
But it's
These
just like they say,
certified,
you know
these
what?
certified relationship specialists are telling us what to go to. I don't listen to them.
What makes her pretty though? Because when all those looks go away, when those looks go away, can this woman still stand?
Yeah, let's use these celebrities. What did Cat Williams said? They all get the standard.
But let's not talk about celebrities because that's a whole nother era out there.
But it's the thing, though.
Right? But let's keep it about these natural people that's calling themselves relationships.
Well, it ain't a lot of them. That's the problem.
You know what I mean?
He talking about everyday people.
Right.
Because they want a woman with substance,
right?
But they want the baddest one in the room. And most of the times, her looks. My daughter's only 7, and I always tell her, I said, "Let me tell you something. Your looks can get you so far." I said, but that inside is what matters. I instill that in her now.
Yes. You know what I tell? Go ahead.
A lot of the bad chicks, you can talk to them, they can't spell, can't read,
can't cook,
they don't got no
can't do house dirt. I ain't never seen this, so I moved to Georgia.
Okay, that part.
I'm talking about they be so bad.
Some of them can't even boil a hot dog.
They be bad and nice, and you go to their house and it's nasty.
And you know what? I just heard this.
I be telling folks, don't throw me in that ring. I don't want to be one of them. Don't get it twisted.
You know what?
I be like, ooh.
I seen this thing where this guy was talking about, and Dorshell can tell you, I can look in a person's car and tell so much about them, right?
Yes.
Like if I see, like you see those people riding down the street, they got their pictures dim, the father with the 3 children and a dog. Then they want to know how I know they got. Oh, how do you know I'm married? Well, if you look on the back of your car, it say you're married. Well, how do you know I got a baby in here? It says baby on board. How about that? You know what I mean? Or I'm like, you kind of junky, aren't you? Why you say that? Look at all them damn clothes in the back of your car. What, you live out of this car? You know what I mean? So you
got y'all spend the night there?
I just think we just missed the whole quality of people. And I just think that's the essence of it. A lot of people don't search for the quality people.
Yes.
You know, and the quality of people ain't gonna always, they ain't gonna be the best looking. They ain't always gonna be the sharpest tool in the drawer. You know what I mean? Knife in the drawer.
They got seed that you can water and make it better. Like, you can change how someone look. You can change what they wear, but the qualities, the substance, the character of a person will not change. So if you don't like how they look, buy them a weave. If you don't like that they heavy set, go to the gym. But if they have them qualities that can make you better, why are we?
I'm gonna say 50-50. Everybody you can't put a weave on. I'm just saying.
Right. Everybody you can't lose weight either.
Yeah, I know. Cause I mean, that's one of my favorite Beyonce hooks. Whatever. You know, she said in her perfect Houston accent. Let me upgrade you. Right.
Yeah,
a lot of men
that.
Let me upgrade you.
Because you can do that. Yeah.
Let me up. Cause she's got $1 billion. Jay-Z got $1 billion.
Well,
right?
Jay had the $1 billion first.
Yeah, but at the same time, ain't nothing that she
It goes back to what you say, but
except
the point they upgraded each other.
Yeah.
Say, okay, let's go back to this. These slow. Would you date Jay? If you met Jay-Z out on the street, didn't know nothing about him, Miss Dorshell, would you allow him to approach you like, hey, miss, how you doing? You know, what's your name? You gonna look him up and down.
No, let me tell you something. But let me tell you this. No, let me tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this, and this is this is a human fact.
You gotta be a little bit attractive.
Wait a minute. Let me tell you this.
You gotta be eye candy.
Let me tell you this.
You gotta be a little bit.
A lot of times, with a man, it ain't. Sometimes it's not about what he look or what he look like. Sometimes about his swag.
Older now. I'm 30.
Let me tell you something. Because Jay-Z got a hell of a swag on him.
Yes.
And that's what most women are attracted to. His swag. He got a heck of a smell. You know, it's just like you say. When you walk in the club, and whether you walk in there with 2-3 women, or whether you walk in there with 2-3 of your buddies, it's a certain swag you have, and people see it, and it attracts people to you.
He said it. When I walk in a room, I shift
the room. Yes, and that's why people be like, "Ugh, he married her. She ugly." No,
his mindset is the fact that from, you can say, his background or what he came from, whatever, he's honed his focus and his psyche, his persona to be like, when I step in somewhere, right? He said, I got the baddest chick in the game wearing my chain. But he had pursued this woman for umpteen years, right? Since she was, I'm not saying he groomed or whatever, but he seen her when she first came into the industry, whatever. And he looked at like, she's the prize. She's, and I looked at it like, she's supportive of her husband.
Yeah.
She has her own career, whatever. And I'm not agreeing, but these certified, going back to you saying, these certified relationship specialists, they need to work on people's hygiene. They need to work on people's psychic baggage. Before you even talk about, well, why you want to get with this person, right? He's like, nah, they look like they stink. They look like they can't bowl. Baby, is the water done yet? Yeah, I mean, what? You don't know how to cook rice. I'm not going to it because my family made me more self-sufficient in order to take care of people, right? And that's the reason why men make money, in order for somebody to rely on them. Women make money to be independent of being relying on somebody. But
then
certified.
The crossover is this, that in today's society, a few of these women that's out here, they looking for a man to take care of him and saying that, you as a man, you're supposed to do this, and this. You're supposed to be taking care of this. You're supposed to be paying this and paying that. Well, let me tell you this. You ask for all these things, but then you're not saying what you can contribute to the situation, first and foremost. Second of all, and I go back to the great word. The great word talks about this woman in Proverbs called the virtuous woman. She took her fine silks and linen to the flea market, sold them, and brought the bread back home to help support the house, right?
And that's a woman.
So the thing about it is this. When a woman says what you're supposed to do as a man, they say, and then they'll say, God said that you're supposed to take care of me. But further, if I can't take care of you spiritually, I can't take care of you no kind of way.
Okay.
No kind of way. If I can't take care of you spiritually, I cannot take care of you any kind of way. And that's what people need. I don't care whether you're Christian, Muslim, Jehovah's Witness. If I can't take care of you spiritually, financially means nothing.
But that's a broken statement in itself, because this what happened to me recently. Ran into somebody from the past.
Can you clarify what's a broken statement?
That broken statement of, I'm giving you exactly what they said. Okay. I like to give verbatim.
Okay.
I want attention. I want gifts. I want trips, and you can't do that for me.
Oh.
I said, wait a minute. I should have came back like, listen, this would have been very derogatory. Man, you 35 plus. You've been in and out of a relationship with your ex-husband. You got 1, 2, now you got 3 kids. You have not risen above the median poverty line with your liberal arts degree in order to even establish one leg up under the table. For you to tell me I can't do something? When's the last time you've been on? I'm not even going to ask you.
I would have said it in a nice way, but she needed to hear that.
What's the last book you read?
Right. But I think that what we have to all start doing, we have to start all finding a way to uplift each other. I think that we don't all need these relationship specialists.
No.
I don't think that you have to start understanding where you're at in life. And once you understand where you're at and who you are and what you can establish for yourself in life, stop looking for somebody to take care of you and nurture you because you're not a child. Nurture one another.
Yeah.
And I think that what we had here today, that some of the commentary, we all could be certified relationship specialists, in the commentary that we had here today. But we want to just thank you guys for listening in to People Think About It. We want to invite you out to our shows. And every Wednesday at 8 p.m., we release a new episode. And you can go to peoplethinkaboutit.com. You can reach out to us at peoplethinkaboutit@gmail.com. You can go to our pod page. We want to thank our guests for being here today. And we're going to have a lot of more of these subjects that come about, talking about relationships and how to conquer, how to come together. And so once again, we want to thank you guys for listening to People Think About It.
You've been listening to People Think About It. Be sure to subscribe to the show and share it with your friends so that you never miss an episode. A new episode drops every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Thank you for listening.